Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Fire Punch Volume 5. And we're going to read all of Volume 5 today. That's the plan. I missed last week. I had a bit of a sore throat. I didn't feel like reading an entire volume. So hopefully the fact that we're going to read an entire volume will make up for that a little bit. We left on such a cliffhanger. We're just going to start with a drawing and use that to fold us in because I know what I want to go for here. So this. And this should, if I do it properly, evoke a bunch of stuff in some interesting ways. Creepy fingers, kinda. So, I've been thinking about Fire Punch in the background, and as opposed to thinking about individual things about the story, I'm finally getting a little bit of a big picture idea of what we're doing here. And as I've been thinking about it in a more bird's eye view, broader terms, as we've gotten 4 volumes in, and it's like, obviously there's going to be enough, like way more than enough shocking bullshit to surprise me as we go on. But still, I'd like to throw something out as sort of a like video essay style analysis type of thing about Fire Punch. I keep thinking about it in terms of the overall narrative direction or drive, like where it's going and how. And I'm doing so in terms of, or thinking about, one of my favorite pieces of media, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. And Gurren Lagann is a really cool show. And one of the things that makes it cool that always kind of comes up, that people talk about it, and I think is true about it, and is intentional about it, and is great about it, is the form and direction of the narrative, the overall drive of the thing. Gurren Lagann is, many people will say, a spiral narrative. It starts in one place and gradually spirals its story out, building up bigger and bigger stakes while elucidating in some sense the same loop, the same circle, the same thing over and over. It manages to combine this sort of a history repeats itself element with a striving toward endless progress element, and links and ties all that into the innate spiral nature of a lot of our livingness. DNA is kind of spiral, and that folds into things, and you can kind of look at yourself as a bit of a spiral, and you kind of are. I mean, all of your joints and limbs and stuff kind of are built to allow you to twist through space in interesting ways, and you can build up on that idea big time, like a spiral building outward. It's kind of an infinite metaphor, and it applies to Fire Punch. I don't know if Fire Punch is exactly a spiral narrative. Maybe it's more like a tree, where you start out at one tiny branch, or maybe a tiny root capillary of some much greater system that you just cannot ever fathom. Like, there's no fathoming the world that Agni and Luna enter into at the start of the story. There's just no way. But as you get further up the roots of the tree, you get to these bigger and bigger branches, and the bigger branches give you a bigger picture of what's going on, but it's all the same fucking direction. It's all the same tree in some sense. Or perhaps a river flowing the other direction, right? Where from the top down, water and stuff is trickling down to the capillaries at the end. And you don't really get an idea of the scope and scale of the river when you're just sipping water from a tiny rivulet at the end, like your little village that you grew up in and had to deal with some of the horrors of, not realizing that there's a whole flood of horrors upstream from you just a little ways, So, let me lay out some of the specifics then, now that I've put the framing in, so we'll fill in some of the details a little bit, and it'll make a little bit more sense. Agni and Luna start off in this horrible circumstance, extremely difficult, harsh landscape. That ain't gonna change. Welcome to the world, okay? The landscape is harsh, and it will remain so. They have a couple of core beliefs and thoughts. One of them is the drive to live, no matter what. The other is Luna's almost childish, actually definitely childish, but almost like foolish, silly, almost gets in their way ideas about the Ice Queen and the Ice Witch, and also those stories of a great place in the long distant past, a place that's unreachable, a goal that's more of a dream than a reality. You know what I mean? Okay. Shatter, break, explode that, everything fucks up, and we get catapulted into another type of world, one with endless suffering, leveled up, now you're on fire, all that jazz, and simultaneously we find out or begin finding out about Behemdorg, a bigger place where a character who's very much like Luna is bound by these, again, sort of simplistic visions of a king and God and all these things that she knows aren't true but holds on to anyway, and the desperate masses who yearn as they do for fire will cling on to that. And so we build out this other big city that's a larger spiral out of the same concept, where the sacrifices are being made, and in the initial village, Agni is sacrificing himself for the prosperity of the village. In Behemdorg, same idea, but on a bigger scale, and the sacrifices aren't asked for, they're enforced. And that's worse in like every way, spiraled out. And not that dissimilar in some ways from, for example, discovering that the great king, the spiral king of your earth is actually just some dude who's trying to hold on to a little bit of order and civility in what he has left, to paraphrase. And that's kind of what Judah is doing, and kind of what all of the Behemdorgians are doing, with all the corruption and horror that comes with that. And corruption and horror is part of the thing that spirals. It grows as the fear and the horror and the bad stuff and the suffering and the enforcement and the tyranny and the grossness and the pressure and the hatred and the pain all grow. And more people get caught up in it and become the innocent sacrifices or the not so innocent users of those sacrificial firewood, right? Gotta stay warm after all. Gotta find something that fuels you. So the fuel is you, the fuel is the stories that you believe in, and stuff like that. That makes sense to me. We step out from Behemdorg and find ourselves... Basically, we crash the system, right? We shatter Behemdorg. It's all gone. Their whole system of horrible control and whatever is gone. And now we have to actually step into the exact same role. It's not like we're freed from the major shape of the spiral. Like, we're not at all. And so now Agni is the one stepping into the role that Judah did of providing that hopeful future, providing that god figurehead, that false spiral king, in order to keep some semblance of order and civility. And he takes all of the burdens of all of the sacrifice onto himself, chopping off his head for the food, and it spirals out from there. Meanwhile, you've got a Luna alike who's totally driven and fueled by the desire to reestablish a fictional world that has never been and will never be, which is the idea that the Star Wars prequels would be good. And or the idea that they would tell the end of the story of the original trilogy. Regardless of the silliness of the Star Wars, and it is silly, the idea is actually the same. We've got someone masquerading as a god figurehead, in this case a deadly one, ice witch bitch, who's murdered the world, etc., and doing so in order to fulfill her goal of a long distant past that must be brought up from the dredges of history and reestablished into the future at some point for her own ability to survive this horrible world that she lives in, with all the twisting and corruption that comes with. So you see, it's linked. It's like Fujimoto kind of knows that he's doing a thing here and is trying to write a story. Almost as though the guy is like a good storyteller and is making a cool thing, you know? What a surprise. Shocking. Facetiousness and joking aside, I think it really works to help me frame the idea overall of Fire Punch. You know, there's an idea that I see in humor or comedy anime pretty frequently that's like, okay, so you take a joke and then you tell the joke and it's pretty funny. And then you take the joke and you make it way worse and weirder and funnier, and then you tell it again. And the audience is like, okay, that's the end, that's the end, that's the end. That's as far as we're gonna go here. There's no way we go any. And then you tell the joke in a weirder, crazier, more fucked up, funnier, more animated, more insane way. And the audience goes, ha ha, impossible. How do they do that? Well, they did it 3 times now. There's no way they're gonna, oh my God. So Fujimoto is kind of doing that, but with insanity and horror and tyranny and forced adherence to the rules as believed by an individual or small portion of the society, or however you want to look at it. It's spiraling up, 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 and away, and way, way out of control, I'd say. So I fucking love it. I think it's super cool, and realizing that I could see, and there are other frameworks within which you could place Fire Punch. I'm only halfway through it. I don't know what we're going to be experiencing here, and I fully expect to have all of my ideas totally blown out the window, because that happens every volume. But I think it's a really useful framework, and it's helped me to see what we're doing here, maybe, and at least to try to engage with the work on a higher level view that I normally don't really get to do until I've finished the thing and it's a year later. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't normally have these thoughts until it's literally a year later, and then I'm like, oh, that show's like cool. Huh. It's something that ends up happening as I watch other shows. I'll watch other shows, and then I'll go back in there. I'll be like, oh, this recategorizes what I saw before. You know, I'll watch Kaguya, and then it'll change the way that I think about some of the elements of Monogatari. It's like, wow, the romance here and the romance there echo each other, and you get the patterns recognized from one to the other. I think it's super cool. So here's my depiction of our world tree, which I think has come out great. I think this has come out super well. I really wanted to like lose the orbs in it. So the initial circles that I drew, I wanted to fade away. I thought I would have to go in and erase them, but I'm happy with this as they are. I wanted them to fade away because that's what she's fucking trying to do. She's trying to suck all the life out of all the planets and make them disappear so that she could rebirth the galaxy. I think it's something like that. It's something like that. Probably the way to do this would actually be to fill in the entire background and then erase dots for the stars, but ain't nobody got time for that shit. You know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing here. And actually, that's a streak that's a shooting star. Boom. Done. And then there's one more thing. I don't want it to be too on the nose, but you might notice that I already drew the tree with like 2 major limbs and one in the middle. And I want to accent that a little bit so that you feel this idea that maybe that's a person there, you know? Like this would be a quadricep, and this would be the rest of the leg, and then this would be the other leg, you know? And then that would be the other leg. And I just want to darken these lines up a little bit and give it a little bit of a figure, because this will be shoulder, right? Because that's the idea, man. And it's again, and another version of this imagery. It's a semi-crucified Judah here, right? Like, head to the side. Yeah, there we go. That's almost 2 on the nose. But speaking of noses, there we go. That absolutely reads as a person to me, right? Like torso, waist. We'll do that. Waist, legs, but then twisted and warped into into a depiction of this horrible tree or wonderful tree. I don't know, like, if she's right, but at the same time, is she right? See, I don't know. I think she's fucking crazy. I don't know, but our history so far doesn't line up to me with the idea that all the humans who were genetically engineered left for different planets and lived there for bajillions of years and have all died out. Like, that just doesn't track with the timeline overall. But maybe I'm fully wrong. But if Togata is capable of remembering our world as it is, and is only about 300 years old, then that doesn't make sense to me. Unless she's more right than she's said, and it's like cyclic in a bigger way. I don't know. I'm going to post this up. There's something else about the spiral narrative idea that rings super true to me, and it has to do with the, how do you put it? The difficulty of avoiding following in your forebears' footsteps. So, example on a fundamental individual human level that's pretty common. You get a young man who has an abusive father. The young man tries to be as far away from that abusive father as they can and ends up becoming a different kind of abusive in the process as a cycle, justifying it by saying, well, what I'm doing isn't what my dad did, so it's different, but they've really just established the same tyrannical system once again in a different setup. Broader social version. A tyrant rules a land, the people revolt, cut off the head of the tyrant and everyone in his family and everyone related to them and all of the aristocracy, establish their own tyrannical rule by guillotine, and become a small intellectually, like a theocracy or an intellectocracy instead of a tyranny or an aristocracy, but still establish the same horrible fear and fail a bunch of the systems and cause their own bad things. Or establish a dictatorship, because that happens really often, right? It's like really often. You get a tyrant dictator, and then a coup by the military, and then a tyrant dictator. And then a coup by the military, and then a tyrant dictator. It's like you follow in those footsteps, even though what you're trying to do is fight against those things that are holding you down inside. You become them. You become them. The generation before you is Puritan and foolish and destructive toward the environment and doesn't care about each other and distant and isolated. And so you fight against that and go all hippie and take a bunch of drugs and do all this and become part of the establishment that ends up having its own form of tyranny and destruction of the environment and not really caring in isolation. It just cycles, right? It's like the futility of trying to avoid your fate is kind of the idea that's there and is woven through a bunch of Greek and Roman mythology, like, fate is happening to you and you can run away, but where you will run away will just lead you to your fate, Oedipus style, you know? I'm gonna run away so that I never have, or, what is it? It's the king throws out his children so that bad things don't happen and they end up killing him for that reason. Okay, yeah, you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm putting down? I think you get it. It echoes really deeply and fundamentally, not as like, I've been there or I've seen that, but as, whoa, Tatsuki Fujimoto has seen enough of the world to get a picture of a pattern, and then he's written a story that is such a concise view into that pattern and elaborates upon it so beautifully and hilariously and horrifyingly that you can't help but notice it yourself. And that's really cool, and it's one of my favorite things about media, and particularly really creative creators, because they're not just creating things out of whole cloth. They're reaching out to the fabric of reality, pinching and twisting, and saying, this is something that's true. Have some. And you go, whoa, that's true. Ah! It's really cool. It's really fucking cool. So, this next volume starts off with a lime green and pink Togata gripping a fistful of fire, which I hope doesn't happen, because I'd actually rather that Togata didn't burn alive to death. But, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's exactly what she wants. Togata, last volume, didn't spend a lot of the last portion of the last volume in the limelight. Mostly because she ran away. Batman came up and shared with Agni what is apparently her darkest secret, that she is not a woman, but a man, according to him, whatever that means. And I'm not sure what that means. Partly I'm not sure because I'm not sure at all. Partly I'm not sure because, well, maybe technology is whack. Like, there are hundreds of years of crazy technology and clearly genetic engineering and shit and crazy fucking skills and powers and things. There are all sorts of ways that you could change genders, right? You know, our current world is terrible at it. Like, we're terrible at it. Even with all the developments and stuff that's going on, we're, like, not good at that. It's not great. 20 years from now, it might be great. It might be, like, snap of your fingers switcherino. You know, there's a Dungeons and Dragons item that's a ring that makes you appear to be the opposite gender of what you are. Like, it's just a ring that you can put on and take off, and it makes you a female version of yourself, male version of yourself, or vice versa, right? I don't know what it does for trans people or non-binary D&D characters. I haven't worked that out. Haven't had to. Terrifying. But that's what it does. And it's like, 30, 50 years from now, that might be the future, right? You might have a hollow bath or a Bacta tank that you get into and can just choose your new body and pop out. I don't fucking know. That might have been in this world 250 years ago. I don't know. So, I can't judge in any way what's going on with Togata. Not without some more context and some more information. So, getting her up on the front of the volume makes me think and hope that that might be what we're going to get. It seems like that would be the thing to focus on. And so I'm excited to see what it ends up being and what Tatsuki wants to say about it and how we address this and what's really going on here and is it true? And in what way? Okay, so actually, I'll say this. I believe that it's true according to Batman's vision of the world. But that might not be true, right? Like, if it's fundamentally true that somebody can be one gender and in the other genders, the other sex, in the other physical, biological body, if that's true, and Batman doesn't believe it, then he would look at somebody who's like that and go, a liar, when it's not so, right? It's just like, it's not so, they're just stuck. Curious. Very fucking curious. And with that, I think we're going to dive in. I've done my spielin', I've done my waffling. We're going to watch some Fire Punch, read some Fire Punch. I'm here for it, man. I gotta make tea. I've got tea brewing. Warm caffeine and hydration acquired. I'm scared of Fire Punch. Let's get into it. Volume 5 of Fire Punch. Here we go. We're going to try to chew down the whole thing. I've been told that that's probably the best idea. If it fails for some reason, I'm sorry. We'll see. We'll just play it by ear, and that's the intent. Fire Punch! Characters. I love these every time because they keep becoming like shorter blurbs that don't tell us any of the shit about the characters at all. Agni, a blessed with the power of regeneration. His little sister is killed by Doma, who engulfs Agni in flames that will never extinguish. Togata, a mysterious girl who is trying to film a movie starring Agni. Also maybe not a girl, also crazy. Also 300 years old, also ninja, also crazy. Nenato, a girl taken to Behemdorg with Sun. Also probably the most sane character that we've met. Yeah, I mean, she is the camera woman, camera lady, camera girl, and so she's kind of our viewpoint into this world in certain ways, and much like us, she's sort of dropped into the horror. Judah, a soldier of Behemdorg who is a blessed with the power of regeneration, also the future of the universe, apparently, because she's gonna become a tree against her will. Sun, a blessed with the power of zappies. Agni saves his life, now the leader of the cult. Doma, a soldier of Behemdorg who is a blessed with the power of fire. And he's fucking alive. He's fucking alive, baby! Forgot about that. There's so much going on. There's always so much going on. Forgot about fucking Doma being existent. He is a person who exists. I don't know what that's gonna do to Agni. Ice Witch, an unidentified person who has appeared out of nowhere claiming to be the Ice Witch. And lying. Masked Man. Really? One of Agni's followers, he's a blessed with the ability to generate and manipulate iron. Hey, that's the first time we've actually found out what it was. I didn't know. I mean, I assumed it was metal, but it could have been carbon fiber. Who knows? Humans who possess unique powers are called blessed, and two such blessed, Agni and Luna, live in a world frozen over by the Ice Witch. One day, Agni and Luna's village is attacked by a Behemdor soldier named Doma, who's a blessed whose flames won't extinguish until they've completely consumed their fuel. Luna loses her life, but Agni survives, suffering a living hell of trying to master the art of controlling his flames, then endlessly consume him. On his way to seek his revenge on Doma, Agni saves a horde of people from Behemdor, which causes them to revere him as a god. While Agni struggles clumsily in this new role, word reaches him that Doma is still alive. But before he can act, Batman informs him that Togata is deceiving him and is actually a man in a woman's body. Again, whatever that means. With her secret out, Togata tries to leave Agni in the village. Elsewhere, the Ice Witch turns Judah into a tree and begins the process of destroying and recreating the world, using all of life as the tree's fuel. Yeah, that's some like quick spiraling out stuff. I was starting to count it and then I lost the thread. Fire punch! Sorry. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Would you just leave me alone, you dick? Keep following me and I'll pelt you with another one. You're the one. You followed me first, you dummy. Oh, I'm the dummy? You're just some dumb, shitty kid. Kid. Well, compared to you, of course I'm a dumb kid. But it's because I am that I don't know what to do on my own. Well, that's real. That's like as real as can be. I've been saying it for a couple volumes. Agni's still like 14 on the inside. You spent a few years on fire, you know? You'll lose those. Without you, I won't know what I should be doing. The people I've saved now expect me to continue helping them. I never asked for this, and I don't know what to do about that. But what I do know is that I want to help them out to the very end. I don't want to see anyone else I care about die. That's the one thing I can't take. The pain of this fire, my hatred for Doma, I can bear all of that. But not this. I don't know how to help them. That's why I want you to stay, Togata. Hey, that was pretty heartfelt, man. Good vulnerability. We'll see. What did you think when he said I was a man? What popped into your head? I thought he was kidding. But it did make you second guess my gender, didn't it? Well, you've got breasts. I'd never think you're a man. Honestly, like, reasonable. Mostly reasonable. But he said so himself, and he's the blessed with the ability to see into people's minds. For a second? I don't know. Maybe I did, but just for a second. Well, that split-second doubt is something I hate as much as you hate seeing people you care about die. Also reasonable. But why? Because I do! I hate it! You wouldn't understand. That's right, I don't! And I won't unless you explain it to me. I have the brain of a man, but the body of a woman. You wouldn't understand even if I tried to explain it. It's like this. Even though I'm a man, my body and voice are feminine, and having to be reminded of it makes me sick to my stomach. After waking up in the morning, I feel so sick I could throw up. It's the worst possible feeling, and I want to get a sex change, but I can't because of my blessing of regeneration. That tracks. That's fucked. That's fucked, and an amazing analogy for a lot of the trans people who live in societies that don't offer gender-affirming care, I think is the word for it. Not sure personally how I feel about all of that, just saying. But this is a hell of an interesting depiction of it. Again, it's one of those things where Fujimoto might be reaching out and grabbing a piece of reality, twisting it, and throwing it in our faces. A way to take the cruel joke of being born in the wrong body and make it crueler by saying, yeah, but even if you change your body, it changes right back. How about that? How about even worse? How about no escape? How about you can't even die? Yeah, okay, yeah. Let that sink in. Yeah, that sinks in. I'm forced to think of myself as female. You probably don't even understand, you idiot. I think I do understand a little. Liar! At least you have a dick. My dick's got nothing to do with it. Yes, it does! Most of why everyone is able to believe that you're a god isn't because of the good deeds you've done or the miracles you've performed. It's because of how you look. And that's true. And that's true. You cut a heck of a figure from the outset, from Togata finding him, the people bringing her the tapes of him. Everything about it has been the act, right? Wow. Your body being on fire is what convinces everybody you're a god. It's your face, your sex, your height, your physique, your voice and manner of speech. They expect things of you because of your appearance. And it's not just the others. You've fallen for your own looks too. That's why it honestly disgusts me. And how you talk about your little sister. She's literally puking. Just go home. I'm serious. I can't live up to anyone's expectations. That's not true. But it is. In reality, you don't like this Togata, do you? You like the funny, crazy, female version of Togata, don't you? I do too. Because in this world, the male Togata never would have survived. If you just try hard enough, you can become the person you want to be. But I never can. Because I've once again lost my mind. I don't even remember the real me. Next time you come after me, I'll kill you. Hey! Where do you get off following me? Togata, what about the movie? Doesn't matter. Most independent productions are never completed anyway. I'll do something cooler. Even cooler than anything I've ever done yet. Don't you want to see that? I mean, a little! But I don't care! Then what about the ice switch? She doesn't exist, idiot. She does, idiot. No, she doesn't, you lying penis. Yes, she does. I've seen her, stupid. You're the stupid one, butthole. You stupid jerk. Is stupid the only thing you know how to say? Grow your vocabulary, idiot. Joke's on you. I don't know what vocabulary means. Stupid. Called it, and you're the only stupid one around here. Stupid, 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 stupid. Stupid, 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 stupid. You're short one, stupid. You really are a dumb kid. I know I am. Ever since I was 15, my body has been on fire. It's hurt so much I thought I'd die. Only my body grew up. Speak clearly, stupid. Your appearance doesn't reflect who you are inside. Just like me. I'm just a dumb kid with this grown-up burning body. And because of that, everybody thinks I'm some kind of god. You're what? Just like me? You really are stupid. You don't know anything about me. I don't. So tell me. Okay, the whole stupid is fucking awesome. It's so great. It's so funny how Agni acting his genuine childishness, in some sense, is able to draw out the actually childish, actually fun Togata, which she has indicated, I should say, has indicated, is the false Togata, right? But it's not, obviously. Togata's love of movies and crude jokes and silly shit and crazy scenes and explosions and shit is absolutely 100% the real Togata. Maybe the Togata who has forgotten who he is, but still the real one. That stuff compels Togata. I don't, so tell me. I don't want to talk about myself. I don't need you to understand. I want to learn more about you, Togata. Why? See? You just want to pretend like you care. You're wrong! Then prove it. If I had an older sister, I think she'd be like you, Togata. The sister part maybe is a miss, man. Maybe you should have said brother, but okay. Excuse me? I haven't heard all the stories you have to tell, Togata. They're exciting. It's only while we're talking that I can forget my pain. Like when I'd talk to my little sister, I was able to forget all about this awful world. That's why you feel like a big sister to me. Or big brother. A big brother would be more appropriate. I hate that kind of kid glove treatment too. Now that Now that's interesting. I think really interesting. Big Brother would be a more appropriate, but his first thought is Big Sister. And so there's this forcedness, again, that infinitesimal hesitation. There's that forcedness to like, you're my big brother, right? And there's something about that that's almost condescending too, that doesn't capture the whole of the thing, right? It's like, well, I'll call you what you want to be called even if I don't believe it. And that's like, okay, that's patronizing. That's kind of fucked, isn't it? I wonder what Togata will actually request or say. You really are a dumb kid. You're no god. You only look like one. Same justification for leaving, right? But this time, Big Sister's fine. And there's that. I think, okay, so I actually want to talk about that for a second. I hate that kind of kid glove treatment. I'd rather not be calmed or assuaged or soothed. I'd rather you address me as the thing that I am right now. Even if I would rather identify as something else, I'm stuck this way, and we might as well address it as such, is sort of the viewpoint that I have. It's like Togata being like, I'm fucking strong, I can take it. It's not that you're misgendering me, it's that it's fucked. Because, like, it's fucked. That's fucked. Big Sister's fine. Crunch. Great time passing. My mom always said smoking was bad for you. Yeah, well, if I told you your mom also said living was bad for you, would you up and die? Earlier, you said you'd do something cooler than ever. If it's something really spectacularly cool, I'll come back. You mean it? I'm going to go see Doma. I want to put an end to my revenge. Once and for all. Oh boy, man. Oh no. Uh-oh. Don't commit to murdering Doma. Don't commit to murdering him on camera, man. Fine. I'll come back. But I'm tired now. Talking to you chases away the boredom, but it's wearing on my nerves. I can't walk anymore. Then let's talk until you can again. I'll tell you about myself. I can't talk about myself. So instead, I'll summarize a movie. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Fuck, man. That's silly. That's fucking silly. So again, it's getting lost in something else, in some kind of dream, in order to avoid, or at least null the pain of current reality. But it's on every level. It's on the level of all of the Behemdorg society believing in this dream. It's in the level of all of the current civilians, freed slaves, believing in the dream. It's on the level of crazy Ice Witch believing in this dream. And all of it, in the end, is movies. Stupid. Fucking stupid. Awesome. Stupidly awesome. Oh my god. What are you doing? Well, this is a prized cigarette I used to treasure. What was she keeping it for? I forget. She said what she was keeping it for before, but I've forgotten. Because there's symbolism in her giving it up now. I think it was like for when she was free or something like that. I don't remember. You mean Lord Agni? No. Another god. Why? Togata left last night, so I'm praying to God that she comes back. And Agni's gone too. If Togata doesn't return, then Agniism is done for. Why? Because we don't have education. Education? You're too stupid to understand. Yeah, we don't have any established manner of indoctrinating the youth or teaching them how to survive. Neneto, where are you going? I'm going to shoot some interesting footage. Maybe the corpse isn't Bamdorg, so that Togata has something to enjoy when she gets back. He's just standing there the whole fucking time, watching and witnessing. This guy is a trip. He is a trip. If she gets bored of this place, she'll leave us. I'll go too! Fine, but I'm not carrying you. I can walk now! I'll protect you, Neneto! Thanks. You want to come too? I can't tell if that's a nod or a shake. I just can't tell. I didn't know you could drive, Neneto. I can't. Duh. That's why I'm going to practice now, so I can learn. Oh, there he is. I guess he is coming. Good. Somebody to actually protect them. Thank God. Wow. And he's wearing clothes. Wait, what's up with that? I don't know. I'm not a blessed, so I have to learn how to do things. Hey, deserter. Show us where Doma is. I love the cut too. Okay, and then snap to it burning and falling over. That's what it looks like. You can go back now. We'll take it from there. I guess I don't know. Why is there smoke coming out of it? Why is it on its side? I'm just not sure. Maybe it's not something else. I'll work the camera so I won't interfere. Not a peep out of me. Pretend I'm not even there. Once we see Doma, you can do whatever you want. Toga. Don't come any closer. Fire punch? Fire punch? He must mean you. Go home, Fire Punch. I'll shoot. I'll do it. That's a pretty lame name they've given you. Get behind me. Dish, 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 dish. You suck. Stormtrooper. Screw you, lady. Click, clickety clack. Hey, give him a taste of your Fire Punch. Dish, 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 dish. Ow, 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 ow. He's a demon. Aren't you gonna Fire Punch him? Let's go. I think he's gonna go forgive Doma. I think that's the craziest thing you could ever do. Let's go. That looks like it hurts. It does. You know it hurts, Togata. I wonder if Son, Neneto, and the others are hungry. We cut off plenty of meat for them, so they should be good for another day. Yeah, but what if you don't come back? Like, right? Don't worry about the believers. You'll have your revenge soon. But for the movie's sake, make it interesting. I'm counting on you. And her little smile. Suddenly hyper detailed, right? Amazing. That's super cool. We jump to this sudden hyper detailed landscape because we're here, and Fujimoto wants that to sink in for us. Like, this is a place, this is a moment, and it's a moment of decision, a path, a place, a threshold, even with the two trees there, a doorway, like a torii, right? Like a gate. Yeah, to the shrine of your own revenge. In a real meaningful way, I see that here. Isn't it? Isn't it? This is one path into a future. So we are in Agni's shoes now. Stop right there. I didn't expect it to be quite like this, did we? And he found an animal, too. I knew you'd show up someday. Doma. Lens. I've come to talk. I'm about to go fishing. Why don't you join me? He's also serving a population. Right? Clang. That looks fun. Let me try. This is boring. You can have it back. It is boring. Okay, but there's something else. Nobody can find food in this world. Doma can. 2 ways. He knows where to hunt and he knows how to ice fish. Right? He is the sole remaining survivor of a potentially educated generation. Right? Yeah, he is. He's what they need to bring back. Making me do the grunt work. Oops, I'm not supposed to talk. Don't come any closer than that. This is a frozen lake. And if you melt it and fall in, you'll scare all the fish away. I love the pieces that we choose for these little scenes. Catch a little fish. You came here to talk, so talk. Why are you fishing? I have 17 children to take care of. I'm doing this to fill their bellies. And there it is. Is that what you came here to ask? I thought you'd come to kill me. I was planning to cry, beg for my life. My death would mean the deaths of 17 others. But you came to talk. If talking's what you need to forgive me, then I'll talk as long as you need me to. I'll never forgive you! These flames are your flames. No matter how much I try to forget, one look at these flames causes my brain to scream out in pain. Sort of like one look at Her Own Body by Togata. Right? Yeah. An endless reminder, screaming at me, to kill Doma. Then you did come to kill me. If I'm going to move on, then I need to accomplish something by coming here. Whether it's killing you or not, I need some kind of resolution. Well, what kind of resolution can happen? If you've said, I'll never forgive you, and you mean it, but you're open to not killing him, what do you think? Do you think maybe you could force him to try to repay all the lives he's taken? Something like that? I think you could. Either I kill you, Doma, or I don't. Talking with you will help my decision. If killing you only resulted in your death, then I'd do it. But you just said 17 other people's lives depend on yours. So I'll take those 17 to my village. They'll have no trouble staying fed. That way I can kill you and only you. If there's any other reason you have to live, then say it now. Say it! So you mean to feed children human flesh? That's right! Mine! I've always fed people my flesh, but the villagers that you killed, and Luna too, what they lived off of was the flesh of my body. Nobody had to die. Because of your misunderstanding, my village and Luna burned. There was no misunderstanding. What? Agni, what do you think people lack right now? Food. Education. There was no misunderstanding. It's not a warm climate, or great quantities of food, or even God. Ooh, big fish. It's a proper education. And Togata looks up from the camera. Your village subsists upon human flesh. What do you think will happen when you die? They'll starve to death. Life doesn't die that easily. If you die, all they'll be left with is a culture where they eat people. So, if your religious theocracy, foolhardy hierarchy that sustains the population falls apart, they'll be left with the wreckage of that hierarchy and that established situation, and it will eat itself, literally. Worse than it could be. Yeah? Nietzsche would have a kick with that, man. He'd have a fucking field day with that. He'd say that that's exactly what we exist in right now and have for the last few hundred years. He'd say that we're still living in the bones, the the crow-picked bones of the Christian mythology, and we are. But it's like a corpse. It's crow-picked as fuck. I live in a severely Christian town, and it's corpse-picked as fuck. You know, I was out riding my electric unicycle the other day, and I was just riding around, and I stopped for a second by the bridge over the arroyo that I sort of is like a bike path that goes across my town. And there's a guy, I've seen him a few times. He's homeless, and he lives under the bridge. And he does all right. I've said hi to him a couple of times. He seems like he's moderately sane. Some homeless people you just don't know. I've met a lot of homeless people. I spent a lot of time in tough areas of San Francisco and Oakland, and I've met a lot of people, and some of them are fucking crazy, and some of them are kind of normal people who've had a really hard turn. He seems like he's had a hard turn, but I stopped because I was riding around in an empty parking lot, and I realized that the empty parking lot that I was riding around in was the parking lot of a church. It's literally right across the street from where the homeless guy lives. Empty church, one side of the street, homeless man who needs help, other side of the street. Seems a little hypocritical. That's what I mean by like a crow-picked corpse of the Christian idea. It's like, well, that doesn't line up, does it? That doesn't really work. What you've got really is a bunch of people going to their communal gatherings and having fun together and believing in their little community, but they're not really acting it out, are they? If they were, the homeless man wouldn't be there homeless, would he? It's the kind of thing that you see that's just like, ooh, something's off here. But what he sees is that without a proper education, they will just take the remnants of what has been and convert those into something more and more horrifying every iteration. And he's fucking right. So they'll either resort to attacking other villages to eat their flesh, or they'll start to cannibalize each other. So it's not about kudzu, it's not about cooties, it's about what you know, what you're used to. Without proper education as their foundation, they'll turn stupid in no time, and by that point, they won't even be human. That's just your own delusions. They're not delusions. It's my prediction. Without education, they can't imagine other scenarios, and it's that lack of imagination that makes people adhere to a false sense of justice. Pow! Pow! Behendorg summed up. Agni summed up, right? In the first village, the only option that I have is what I learned from those horrible people who came in and tried to kill us and eat our flesh, right? Right? Like, the only thing that I know is being sacrificed as firewood to feed the village. And so I do that more, and it works until it doesn't, until Domo lights everything on fire. And then he gets into we talked about it before, in the same situation when he's old big Agni, and the village is like, well, we're going to starve. He's like, well, I've got a solution. It's the one that I know. It's the easy one. He doesn't go out try to hunt. He doesn't go and fire punch some deer. He doesn't like explode a lake and find fish or go out to the ocean that they know is there and see if there's anything alive in it. None of those things even pop into their heads as options. He goes, well, there's a simple, easy solution. All I need to do is chop off chunks of my face 1,000 times. It'll be fine. As crazy as it is. So he's exactly right. And our story so far already proves it, doesn't it? I'm not adhering to anything like that. You already have. It was your uneducated sense of justice that destroyed Behemdorg. This is also my guess, but after you destroyed Behemdorg, you had regrets, didn't you? I've killed too many. I killed even those who were innocent. Stuff like that. Agni, I don't blame you. I have no right to. After all, I burned a town too. But so did you. So if you're going to kill me for that, and keep on with your own delusions, and call me the monster, you got some mirrors to look into and some abyss to look back at you. Oh, this is sick. I have no right to. The person who set you aflame wasn't the educated person you see before you. It was the past me, who had no proper education. For generations in Behemdorg, they had a way to easily control the masses. They brainwashed them by showing them footage of a god at work. Watching scenes of the god of Behemdorg burning down the demons of hell with his holy flame lit a fire in my soul. I was just another of the brainwashed masses. So, what is that? That's the god of Behemdorg who breathes his own fire on himself and then regenerates and punches people? That's new. What is this? But one day, Judah told me that she'd had a divine revelation. I ordered my troops to go to a village to acquire more slaves. They were met with resistance, and most of them died. It was after that I saw the spoils of war one of the survivors had brought back, and that's when I knew. Behemdorg, blah blah, books from the old world. And plants. Fire Behemdorg, the greatest action film ever made. Warner, Wanao Bros Pictures. All right, director John Kennedy's had us in stitches with his last off-the-wall comedy, but now he's gone and made a serious question mark film. Jizu, Tom Ray, has his homeland destroyed by demons, but when he spits fire onto his fist, those demons won't know what's coming when he retaliates with sanctions of the burning fist persuasion. Hell is what you make of it in this action-packed comedy. Wana Bros Pictures, Picture Kings, John Kennedy's Fire Behemdorg, Anne Brown, John Smith, Robert Johnson, Michael Smith, John Kennedy's. Fuck me. We don't have a year on it, though. That's the part that's like... That's what I would really like to see, is if it had a year on it, but of course it doesn't. Man! So the whole... Again, a spiral, right? It's all... Crazy. Yo, you crazy, Fujimoto! Hey, can I get out of this? What I'd been watching that whole time was a form of entertainment called a movie. The god that I'd prayed to morning and night was merely a human actor. This is the funniest. This is the best. It's Galaxy Quest, right? The historical documents. What? I'd believed that man's act and burned people in his name. Sometimes I think about burning myself. Clunk. Thunk. Okay. Smack! It was you! You're the one who burned my home and my entire... Oh my god! And my entire movie collection! I'm the only one who'd have that piece of shit movie in its original packaging. I'm sorry. Sorry? Sorry doesn't cut it. Oh shit. Oh no. I did not think about that. Of course that's Togata's place. All the movies, all the books, all the plants, the whole collection. And so now the whole promise of not... It's now her revenge. It's now Togata's revenge too. Oh no. He might... So, here's my problem. Our front page is Togata on fire. I worry. Doma is capable of doing that to her. It was you! Sorry, does not cut it! Go to hell! Die, you shit stain! I'd heard of Behemdorg before, but I can't believe they took it from that awful movie. Please, forgive me. Fine, I'll forgive you. Once I've burned your sorry ass and dick off, give it here! Take your pants off! Take 'em off! Let me see 'em! Get your ass out here! Ah! Ow! That hurt! I'm sorry! Let me tell you something. That movie is infamous for being a C movie. Your god is the main character in that film? Well, that actor was an alcoholic rapist. So perfect, right? Exactly. That's what they reconstituted in Behemdorg. Togata, stop. Get over here and take your revenge out on him. Fire punch his stupid ass. Stop it. Blam, 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 blam. Get away from him. Get back. Go back to the house. Click, 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 click. Doma. I told you guys not to come. Doma. Well, hell. You gonna kill a bunch of kids now? You don't be mean to him. Is that a Luna-like? Stop bullying him! Yeah, what they said! It's Fire Punch! Shh! Don't look. Please. Forgive me. Both of you. Forgive me. Forgive me. I know I've done unforgivable things. Things that could never be forgiven, no matter what I do with the rest of my life. But I can't die. Please. Then bite your own dick off right here. Right now. You shouldn't say dirty words. Huh? Leave it be. Saying dirty words dirties the soul. That's what Doma taught us. The world's so overrun with dirty things that you have to at least keep your soul nice and clean. So you shouldn't talk like that. Togata, let's go home. What? I can't kill him now. Doma has people he wants to keep alive too. I'm going to live the rest of my life for those I want to save. Just as he is. I'm okay with this ending at that. If we stay here any longer, we'll only cause them grief. What? You're just gonna flash him your brown eye and retreat? Quit talking so dirty! Brown eye! Don't! I'm leaving. That's it? Are you really going to be happy just walking away? After how Luna died, this is how you rectify it? Can you really say you're satisfied now? Luna would never be happy with someone having to die. Yeah. Yeah. And neither would I. Yo. Hey, that's a personal development level up. He doesn't couch it in what's necessary, what somebody else wants, what I'm doing for somebody else, some other reason. He puts it entirely in his own words for me. I wouldn't want that either. That's a huge difference for Agni. That's some maturity. We really need Doma's information, y'all. Like all of it. I won't suddenly be happy just because Doma's dead. And it's all over! I wonder if Neruto and the others are hungry. How can you be okay with it ending like this? Are you really okay with resolving your revenge this way? If this were a movie, would the hero have killed Doma? No. The hero wouldn't have killed him. Doma's such a miserable excuse for a man now. It wouldn't have been satisfying to the audience. Plus, the children would die as the result. If children had to die, the audience would despise the hero for it. Oh, really? Then good. Because I'm the hero, aren't I? I don't need to be Agni anymore. If it means saving everyone, I'll become the hero. I'll even become a god. Just like Doma. Becoming a real hero. But just like Judah, becoming the voice of God to save everyone, right? The greater good! The greater good! Yeah, that gets hairy, folks. That gets hairy. It's easier that way. Narcissist! Okay, who are all these people? What are we doing? We're going to sing to Lord Agni all together. The reason we can stand the hunger and the cold is thanks to him. So in thanks, we'll send our song to Lord Agni in the heavens. Cling, clong, cling, clong. That's what I imagine the piano sounds like. I don't know what that wave is. Togata steps forward, leaving him there. Walking, 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 walking. Walking, walking, corpses. Walking, corpses, walking. Walking, walking, Luna, walking, death. Walking, burning, walking, burning. Sweet, quiet, corpse. Cold, hard, child. Fire, smiles. In the present. Brother? Will you please kill Doma for me? I can't. Doma's sorry for what he's done. He's just acting like he's sorry. Acting? Yeah, acting. Like everyone else around you is doing. You'd know better than anyone the kind of acting it takes to survive. But I'm the hero now. A god. Brother, for my sake, become Fire Punch. Oh shit. Oh shit! That's the food source, though. Let your last bit of humanity flame away. Really? Really, really? Become Fire Punch. Become God. Oh man, there's no going back from that, huh? You might regret that, bro. Also, food source. But now that he's heard what he's heard from Doma, they can look for a different way. They can take the fishing idea at least. It might work even. It might work. No. Huh? What is this? What? What is this? Lens. In the place. Smash, crash, blood, burning. Doma blasts him and he only walks forward. And straight through him. Fire punch. Oh god. It's dangerous over there. Wait! Please, wait! That's where. Wait! The ice. The lake. Oh, it'll scare all the fish up. I don't know, maybe. Hi, Luna. Agni! Get over here! Togata, you told me to be a hero. I'd be the hero, you'd be the director, Nenato would be the cameraman, and Doma would be the villain. But I just now realized who I really am. Enough about that, get your ass over here! I'm the villain. For letting my village burn down, for letting my sister burn to death, I tried to make others suffer the same as I have. How many people have I burned to death? I let the few I'd saved go to my head. Ever since my world burned down, I've done nothing but kill. I should have died with Luna. Togata's gonna pull him out of the water and light herself on fire. To save him. I have to, before we can go forward, what the fuck is this? So he masks himself in the full fire, and then are we literally watching a second him go through and murder all of Doma's people? And also Doma? Or are we not? Okay, past me got really confused, and I'm not confused anymore. Agni goes full fire. He actually does all this stuff, but he's kind of blacked out while he's doing it. And then he awakens to that with Doma on his arm, which is the scene that, because it was like immediately juxtaposed, I thought that was a second him ripping out. That's Doma's face on fire, dying in front of him, which is the first thing that he sees when he snaps out of it. And everything from then on is him reconciling with that, which makes perfect sense. Past me will continue to be confused by this. Sorry. I love that this is so much darker. It's the same frame, but weirder. Is this really him? Become Fire Punch, right? But, like, the view that we get is a second self breaking off of the self. What is this? And it's another person. And then it's a corpse? And I don't actually know. But it feels like just a full mental break. But is he visualizing killing all these people, or is he actually fully killing all these people? I actually don't know. We go, what does the lens see? What does the lens see? What does the lens see? And I don't know. That's where I have no fucking idea. I should have died with Luna. And a boy he is. In a modern movie theater, seeing the Bevengers. Fuck you. Absolutely fuck you. What the shit is fucking this? And Star Wars. And other movies. Oh, it's heaven. This is the heaven that Togata described. That's what it is. This is the heaven that Togata described. You'll wake up in a big movie theater with shows that go on and on forever. And the popcorn is always fresh. What are you supposed to do when you go to a movie theater? When you first walk in, you go to the ticket counter to buy a ticket for the movie you want to see. What do you do after that? Then you go and buy your caramel popcorn. Don't buy a drink because you don't want to have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the movie. And then what? You buy the brochure for the movie you're going to see. He's going to get pulled out of this dream by Togata killing herself to save him. That is what we're going to do here. I'm positive of it. We're going to snap out of this dream sequence with a dead Togata. Unless, well, there's something about that. Togata's as good a regenerator as Agni is. Togata could become a second Fire Punch. But Togata might want to die. Then you enter the theater and sit in the seat written on your ticket. And in he goes. N9. And Luna's there with him. He runs forward. She puts the seat down. And Togata drags him back, throws him behind her, popcorn everywhere, and sits in that fucking seat. Get wrecked, kid. Absolutely fuck you. This is my time. My dream, my heaven. My caramel popcorn. Watch. This is me when I was a kid. That's right. It's all coming back to me now. It was my grandpa who got me into movies. I remember it was around this time that I wanted to become a man. To save someone, like the heroes in movies do. Well, Togata's about to get a chance to save someone like the heroes in movies do, isn't she? Isn't he? And an embrace. Burning, hurting, suffering. That's what my mind's full of. So this is what Agni lives with every day. She just put it away. Huh? Right? Right. But might be keeping a bit. So this is what Agni lives with every day. It's a miracle he can even walk. The pain has made his whole body constantly tense. No wonder he's so buff. I thought he had to have been strength training when nobody's watching. I'm glad I know that now. Not that it matters. Anyway, let me get my mind off the pain and think about anything else. That's right. When a character in a movie has been shot or stabbed and is dying, they always have some parting words. What should I say? See you in hell. But there is no hell. Pass. When we're both cats. Nobody would get the reference unless they'd watched Vanilla Sky. Mother. Mother? Yeah, he probably had a mom too, so that would resonate with him. Still thinking about what will resonate. It's a nice feeling that somebody about to die would think of their mom in their final moments. A little cliche, but okay, that's what I'll go with. I'll make my final word, mother. Turns to open her mouth. If I die, he's willing to die too. Even though I gave my life to save him, and he has to keep living. But why? Why does he have to live? What fuels him? He succeeded in killing Doma. Okay, so he did. He did go full fire punch in a crazed moment and go back and murder all those children and also Doma, right? He literally did that. Ho 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 ho. Fuck. And if he dies, he'll get to see his little sister. He wants to die, and I don't blame him. With all the pain and heat and suffering, even if he lives, all he'll have is pain. So again, why does Agni have to live? I see. Agni. Live. Why? Why? Toga! Why? 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 Oh. Thump, thump. Oh my god. So they chose, they went here and they started here. Oh my god. Everybody. Yo, fuck you, Fujimoto. Absolutely Omega, Alpha and Omega to the Zeta, fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Holy shit. That tree is Judah. Who? That's Neneto's son and your boy, Mask Man. The way to Judah, oh my god, the way Judah is now, you can't beat her, my sweet Agni. I'm incomplete, but unlike me, Judah can use all blessings. She can erase your regeneration and flames, give you a life. When I watch a movie, my attention is solely on the bad guy. I love villains. They're so single-minded and fight for their own values. They torture the heroes so that the audience hates them for it. But in the end, they do us the favor of losing. Victory goes to the hero, and the audience gets to enjoy catharsis. That's why I like you, Agni. You destroyed Behemdorg for your own needs and killed tons of innocent people. All that's left is for you to die. You're the villain in my story. Every villain is a hero in their own story, right? That's something that we should remember as a key point. Every villain is a hero in their own story. Every good villain, at least, thinks that they're doing the greatest good for the greatest number or something like it. Doma did. Show me your ending. Give me catharsis. And kneeling, burning, empty and alone. Not knowing that Neneto's son and Mask Man are out there at all. Not that it would really assuage his deep and lasting guilt, shame, and loss. Agni burns at the foot of the world tree. So he really did fully light himself on fire. We visualize it as a second him detaching from the first, which I think is amazing. He becomes a shadow, right? He becomes entirely his Jungian shadow, and then goes and he does all the murder and shit that he'd really love to do, using the internal justification of Luna asking him for it, and then, struck by the guilt of that, goes out to the lake looking at a figure of her to kill himself in order to drop into the movie theater in the sky, which he attends, goes to, and is ripped out of by Togata, who claims her own seat and says, nah, 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 this is my time, my place, my dream, my heaven. And in doing so, leaves him to keep burning alone with no hope. And no hope of any education or any of the things that we had tried to save. None of the justifications, all of it goes out the window. All for naught, utterly futile. You tried, I'm so glad I did the discussion in the beginning the way that I did. You tried so hard to avoid following in the footsteps of your forebears, and yet here you are, bloodied, burning, beaten, and very, very sad. Standing in a big set of fucking footprints. Shit. Shit, Fujimoto. I live in a cardboard box by the riverbank drawing manga. I don't smile like that anymore. Yeah. Well, if I was able to write shit like this, I don't know if I'd be smiling much either. Talk about a quick spiral out. Fuck me. Fuck you. Fuck Tatsuki. Fuck Togata. Fuck Doma, even though he was probably the only hope for any semblance of a future. Fuck all the dead people. Fuck Judah and the World Tree. And fuck the prequels of Star Wars. For causing all this garbage. I'm gonna call it there. That's baller. That's bonkers. That's nuts. That's the most insane shit I've ever read in my life. What the fuck? I'm gonna go have a panic attack or something. Have a great day. A great week. I'll see you around. Chainsaw Man on Friday. Fire Punch continues on Monday. See you there. Thanks for watching. Much love. Peace.